bring your band, have it ready. We're not gonna start right away with the exercises. I want us to get into this mindset of moving. So no need for shoes yet. If you are gonna use shoes at some point, I would suggest something with a lower heel. Yeah, let's just get ready to move. So I'm going to put a song on. There's going to be no cues during this time. So if you don't like my song, not a problem. Just mute and play whatever you like. So just getting into the spirit of practicing. Let's put a nice song on so we can get moving. Let's see, not too... No, oops. Sorry, I didn't press the right button. Okay, here we go. Yeah. Okay, let's hit pause. Pause. Okay, I think I need to adjust you a little bit. There we go. Hello. Hello to Spain. um, okay, so let's do a little reminder, a couple of exercises that we did last time, and then get back into it. So we were looking. Here's my mini skelly. And there's the big skelly right at the back. So we were looking at finding the pivot and finding the opportunity for the ocho inside our structure, and basically understanding how we were built to move will reveal to us the options we have for the right ocho timing. So we were looking at the hip, and specifically how this is just a model, but understanding this is very close to how we are built, basically. So you can see that this is not parallel to the floor, just showing different. So it is on an angle, and we have like a little cave, like a little cap, and then we have a little head that is moving inside that cave. So if we were to maintain this axis and not cause conflict between the two surfaces of the head and the cap, we would need to be moving in a triaxial manner. So meaning not straight up, because then you have conflict here, or not straight back, because then we'll have to adjust it. You'll have conflict either exposing the head too far at the front and having conflict at the back. So in order to avoid conflicts, we are moving on an angle, and that's what we were exploring last time. So we're going to start with that, and as another reminder, we looked at the movement of the greater trochanter. This is a nice bulky bone that you will actually, we do have access to it, so that's why we're starting focusing there, because we can actually touch it. So what happens is we're going to feel that how this bone travels back and under in order to lift our leg, and then it comes up and over in order to bring our leg back and up. So putting the mini skelly to the side, let's start with our first reminder exercise. So sink into your hips, and the bone that you'll feel here, the bulb, that is the greater trochanter. That's why I said you can actually hold on to it. Then you come back, so you unsink, and you want to find the greater trochanter on the other side as well, not leaving the first side. So you find the bone, and you're like, okay, I got it. You come back to center, and now you start making little circles, nothing big. And don't get too tense in the hands. There, that's right. Little shimmies, and you'll notice that your knees will want to bend and stretch. You're gonna let them, and you'll also notice that your hips will start moving as well, and you're gonna let them do that too. So small circles, like little shimmies, and when you're ready, you're gonna set over one side, whichever side that is, and you're gonna continue this shimmy. And this is the test. If you transfer over and you sink or hold, you can't shimmy on that side anymore. It gets restricted. Try it with me. Find your middle, shimmy, continue shimmying your way across, and you'll notice that if you hold or try to create a straight line between the hips that's parallel to the ground, you'll notice you can't shimmy that much anymore. So come back to center and shimmy your way over, and find a position for the hips that you can still shimmy around. Small circles, very small. When you're ready, you actually grab hold of that bone and you bring it back and under. So your hand will be creating like a ledge. And then back down. And notice that the other side is not falling, because then nothing really works. It's actually doing a mini ledge on this side. So notice this is happening. This. An exaggeration. So let's try one side at a time. And I want you to really use your hand to manipulate this movement. And you're going to notice that your body needs to play along. So if you hold and create like a immovable, not a flexible core area, you can't do it. You can just do this, but you can see that this is not the same as this. So your body needs to play along. And this is the key. This is another reason why we're doing it. Because once you connect the dots between what the upper and what the lower body are doing, it's easier to lead and follow. Okay, let's do 2 more. Good. Shake it off. All right. Let's find our position again. If you need to sink and sink, this is the bulb, and shimmy. And if you need to adjust your feet, so if your base is very wide, you'll notice that there's no circle. You can't circle. You need to adjust your feet. Same, if your base is very tight, you won't be able to move. So you need to adjust your feet. So let these little circles help you find where your feet need to be. And shimmy your way over to the other side. And using your hand, bring that greater trochanter back and under. Yep. And it doesn't have to be really big. It can be small, right? You don't need to bring your leg as high up as I'm doing. So you'll notice we have a little bit of a side bend, right? And we also have a little bit of a forward reach extension at the very end of the movement. And we also have a little bit of rotation. 2 more. Last one. Good, and shake it off. Shake, 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 shake. So we're gonna put actually, let me just say one last thing before we put our music on. When you create this movement, and this is gonna be part of our exercise, if you let your foot just drop, notice where your heel will end up in relation to your toes. So one foot compared to the other. It's not crossing. This would be tightrope. It's not on the side. It's almost as if the outside of your heel, let me see, yeah, the outside of your heel is in line with your big toe. So let's see. How can I adjust you to see this a little bit better? Gently. Okay, maybe here. No. All right. Anyways, so here, and then drop. And you'll see it's not tightrope, but it's also not on the side. So still in its own track, and we'll see why in just a second. So I'm going to put the music on. I want you to take as much time as you need to find the greater trochanter. Find these little circles. And then when you're ready, you shimmy your way over one side. You lift one foot, do it a couple times just to feel how it is to really drive that leg in this direction, and then at some point let it drop. And just observe, shift the weight, and start over. Back. Back. Say you do 3 or 4, doesn't matter. Drop, and start over. Here we go. Let's put some music on. And I think I might take this camera down so you can see my feet afterwards. Here we go.
A gente veio pra esse mundo pela mesma porta. Passamos já por tanta coisa. Tenho certeza não foi por acaso, não. E mesmo que hoje a gente esteja um pouco longe, estamos sempre juntos. Estamos juntos sempre. Quando precisar desabafar ou só telefonar pra rir, eu sei que você sabe, mas eu quero te lembrar que eu tô aqui. Pode saber, minha irmã, vai ser melhor amanhã. Tudo vai passar por nós e a gente vai ser mais feliz. Pode saber, minha irmã, vai ser melhor amanhã. Tudo vai passar por nós e a gente vai ser mais feliz. Vai sim. 1, 2, 3, vai. E o que viesse afinal responderia por nós e nos desataria. Enquanto a nota soasse no ar, enquanto a volta somasse mais, e algo mais que um passo fosse desaguar no dia a dia. E afinal a vida recomeçaria. Recomeçaria, e afinal a vida recomeçaria. E o que viesse afinal responderia por nós e nos desataria. Enquanto a nota soasse no ar, enquanto a volta somasse mais, e algo mais que um passo fosse desaguar no dia a dia. E ao final a vida recomeçaria. Recomeçaria, e afinal a vida recomeçaria. Sei que o nosso encontro aconteceria.
Okay, fantastic. Let's pause for a second. Pause, there we go. And let me, let's see. Maybe I can take this camera down for a second. You can see my feet. Oh, you can still see my hips there. Fantastic. So here we go. Find your shimmy. Adjust your base as you need to so you can continue shimmying on. settle over one foot. And here is the test. If you cannot shimmy, for example, then you need to adjust where your weight is. Holding on, manipulate this movement to bring the leg up. Let's do one more. And then let that leg drop. And so this is what I meant. You can still see my back foot. So not a tightrope, but not a completely unrelated train tracks. Let's do the other side. There we go. Find your way over. One more. And now drop. That's it. So let me bring you back up. So if you have a TheraBand or something that looks like a TheraBand, anything like that would work. And so many adjustments. There. And what we're going to do is we're going to place it around almost the middle of our back. Wrap it, bring it to the front, and bring it to the inner part of the thigh. And I'm going to explain why in just a moment. Grab the other side just to, for good measure. And using, again, your hands, you're going to start from your 2 feet, start pulling with this top end. Feel your weight transferring over. And then if you continue, your leg will want to lift. Can you avoid lifting your leg? Yes, you can, but it's going to be quite some tension building up there. So I'm just going to move a little bit closer so you can see exactly what's happening. So this top arm is pulling. You're on 2 feet. You start pulling with your band. It takes you over to 1 foot. You keep pulling, lift you up. This way works? No. Okay, there we go. Release. The other hand is not doing anything. We're just holding the band just so it's not in the way. And you'll notice it's not only a rotation that's happening, it's also a side reach, and it's also extension. So if you had someone in front of you and you wanted them to go into a back step and you go into a forward step, you can see how this is all coordinated and you don't need to think of your step separate to their step. Notice also that this leg is quite heavy, meaning that you're not doing this. You're not using that much the top of the leg, the quads. You are using the psoas. And let's change sides and we're going to see exactly what that muscle is, where it's going. There we go. Change sides. This is the band. And you start pulling with this side. It will take you over 1 foot and And again, can you avoid lifting? Yes, you can, but it gets very tight in the body. And you see, it doesn't have to be a big movement. It's this opportune moment. There's a timing where if you go past it, it just like everything gets tight and uncomfortable. But if you lift that leg at the opportune moment, it's just perfect. Just do a couple of them, a couple more. Turn this way as well. Okay, last one. Good. So what is this muscle that we're working on? Let me just adjust you a little bit. There we go. And I'm going to bring the big skelly now out. Come on. Okay. So it is actually the psoas. And the psoas, actually, let's see it here. They start in this area. And they have like fingers that attach to them. And then they wrap around the body and they come to the front of the hip and they hug the hip too. And then they attach here, which is also called, it's also a trochanter. It's only a minor one, it's a small one. We can't feel that with touch. So we have to come up with different ways to feel how the psoas work, because we can't feel the psoas using our hands either. They are very deep. So just to give you an idea, in the bigger model, it goes like this. So that's why we're saying that once you tap into this muscle, then your leg and your upper body, there you've tapped into that relationship. So you don't need to work separately for your lead and for what your legs are going to be doing. So what we have been working on, actually let me keep this on, is tapping into this muscle. And first we looked at it from the bone structure and trying to use this greater trochanter. Get your hand out of the way, Skelly. The greater trochanter to be able to really feel the movement. And then with a second exercise, we use the band to feel almost how that psoas muscle feels. And we discovered that when you're going forward, your leg is going in an external rotation. And we're going to look at how what happens when you go back. And you can imagine that it goes in an internal rotation, right? So if you want to use the psoas muscle. So let's do exactly that. Bring your band around you again. I'm just going to step a little bit closer so you can see me a little bit better. The center, around the front, and here. There we go. And so we did this bit. And now you're going to do the opposite. Tuck, release. One side, the other side. So you can feel how this muscle stretches with your band, right? As it comes through the front, and then there we go. Tuck. There. Tuck. external rotation, and forward, internal rotation, and back. Back, front, back, front, back, front, back. Let's change sides. Around in the middle of the back, one side comes to the front, hugs your hip. There you go. And release, release. There we go. And this might seem like an external rotation because my hips are opening up, but you need to look at the leg orientation compared to the hip. Oops, there. Two more. Last one. And release. Fantastic. So we're going to put some music on. And this is actually, let me give you the exercise. This is what we're going to do. Let's do it together a little bit with no music. Placing your hands on your hips again, just to get started. Find your position over one foot. Use your hand to manipulate the movement of the greater trochanter. Bring your leg up. And then start undoing to bring the leg back. And you'll notice that when you're here, you can't just go under. You'll have to come in and in an external rotation. And when you're here, you can't just go behind. You'll have to come in, internal rotation. Internal rotation, come in, external rotation. Let's do the same thing on the other side. Find the greater trochanter, drop it back and under so you have like a ledge with your hand. And then you start undoing. Come in, external rotation, internal rotation, external rotation, internal rotation. So this is what I was talking about. Some people might think this might fool them and think that this is externally rotated, but it's not. This would be externally rotated in terms of leg. External, internal, external, internal. And step. We'll do a couple of them. I want you to notice how this is like a little sort of half a figure eight, a 2D figure eight. Comes in, comes out, comes in, goes back, comes in, comes out, comes down, goes back. Right? With an exaggeration, but I think you can see, maybe I move you down a little bit, sorry. There. I think that would be better. So, right? Down, up, down, up, down. Exaggerating. This is an exaggeration. But you can see the little figure eight made on the floor. And I think you've started feeling it in your body. And that's why we are exaggerating, because these movements, they are so subtle and internal to our body that you need to either exaggerate and make them really big to feel them and be like, oh yeah, I think I'm starting to get what's happening here. Or, and this also sometimes helps, that's another trick, go really small. And sometimes there at that time, it helps if you close your eyes and really focus in that area. So that's another strategy. We use both depending on the occasion. But in this case, really exaggerate and feel how the greater trochanter drops and then how you are undoing in order to come through center and then extend to the back. So, hello. Let's see. Try not to do it like for the whole song. Don't do it continuously. Take a moment, a little bit, take a couple steps, and then start over. It can get a little bit too much sometimes. Let's see. Okay, this is good. Oh no. There. That's not what I wanted. I think we all know this song.
Come on, skinny love, just let's see it. For a little song we will never hear. My, staring at the sea, across the way. Right in this moment, this all is all. And I told you to be patient, and I told you to be fine, and I told you to be balanced, and I told you to be kind. And in the morning I'll be with you, and it will be a different kind. And I'm holding all the tickets, and you'll be holding all the fine. Come on, skin love, circle around my hope and let me see. My. Someone knows food, so honestly. And I told you to be patient, and I told you to be fine, and I told you to be balanced, and I told you to be kind. And now all your love is wasted, then who the hell was I? And I'm breaking at the bridges, and at the end of all your lies.
Yes, just seeing a note here. Let me just hit pause. Yes, you could find these movements in Pilates also if you're doing Alexander technique, if you are doing axis syllabus, which is my background, or also body mind centering. So another a lot of some in the category of somatic practices. So you can definitely find connections there. Absolutely. So let's carry on, because I think this was approximately where we had to pause for a bit, ending our last practice. So what I wanted us to do next is take a look very quickly, and I'm bringing Skelly in, at our feet. I'm not sure how I'm going to do this with him here. Okay, no. This is how I'm going to do this. Okay, so there we go. So if we look at our feet, we're going to see that they are oriented towards the outside. So it's not the whole foot that has a flat surface. It's oriented towards the outside. And not only the foot, just the base of the foot, but also we can see it at the top. Structure, how much structure we have on one side versus on the other side, the outside versus the inside. You can also see it from the back, same idea, right? More on the outside, less on the inside. So what does this tell us? This tells us that we are structured to carry our weight more from the outside towards the front, and not so much from the inside towards the front. And definitely not, and also not through the exact middle, because that would actually tip the balance over to the inside, right? So if we look at the structure of our foot, and we have plenty of bones there, we'll see that there is more structure, and the center of our foot is oriented towards the outside, right, versus towards the inside. And yes, everyone is going to be a little different, so you have more of an arch, less, etc., etc. But the blueprint is the same. So on the side again. And now we go back to what we were talking about, where this foot drops. So not dropping right in front of the other foot, creating a tightrope situation, but also not being on a completely separate track. And I'm going to ask you very quickly to set your feet on a separate track and keep them close. Don't exaggerate too much with that. Keep them on two clearly separate tracks, and shift your weight forward. And you'll notice that now most of the weight falls on the inside of the foot, even though we know that our structure would make this more efficient if we were to be more on the outside. So coming more in this way and not so much this way. So more on the outside and less on the inside. So if we go back, shimmy our way, wiggle, wiggle, and make our way over one foot, manipulate the movement using the greater trochanter, find this spot, drop the leg. You'll see that you are on the outer side of your heel. And now if you start shifting the weight, you're going to be invited to go. And what happens next? You're set for, let me turn this way. Actually, no, let me turn this way. So we were here, Let's find the greater trochanter. Drop back and under. Drop the leg. Notice that the outer part of your heel is following the line of your big toe, almost. And you make your way over, and what happens here? You're in this second part of our exercise. Come in. So now this exercise comes and becomes a step. Let's do it together. Let's have some space in front of you for 2-3 steps. Settle over one foot. Greater trochanter drops back and under. And now the other side comes in. Let's do it again. Going forward. And this is the moment. Good. One last time, but we're going to do 2 forward steps and see where we can fit a pivot. Right? And I think now you know sort of that here would obviously be the right time. Yeah. Here. If you get here, can you do a pivot? Sure you can, but it's going to be more work. But if you use this technique that you already need to go this way to go up, if you were to continue forward, if you use it to your benefit, it will help you pivot easier. It will make it part of the process of the forward step. Let's do it again. So 2 forward steps and then 2 forward ochos. Let's go. Settle. Actually, let's start on the other side for once. And step. And you don't want to go straight because then things get tight. You want to go, right? Find that greater trochanter on the 2B free side. Internal rotation here. Comes in, comes up. Drop. Internal rotation takes you around. And the greater trochanter again goes back and up. Drop the leg, go. And this is also the moment you'll find that you get that big toe really gives you that extra little power that you need. Back. Step. So don't cut it short. That's what I mean to say. Go through all the toes. Big toe will give you that nice extra little bit of power that you need. And then, and you go. So I'm going to put the music on. Spend as much time as you need to just find the step, how you go from one foot to the other, basically. And identify this pattern of going back and under to lift, going forward and in to go back for the greater trochanter. And then when you're ready, you're going to change the forward steps into forward ochos. Let's go. Let's see something. Okay. How about does this? I can't remember. Hope it's not too fast. I think it's okay.
I'm turning across your face. Moved us to the light. Tough eyes you make. It's something faint. This is not a place, not yet awake. I'm raised to make. Still alive from you. Still alive from you. Still alive from you. From forest for the soft, God open little loft. So many all your stories, but I know what it is pouring, wiring up. You're breaking your ground.
All right, perfect. Okay, so we have a few more minutes left. Let's see the back step and the back ochos, and then we do a dance to bring it all together. So, we saw, let me see, which is the best angle? Maybe we start here and then I change my orientation. So we're here. And the beauty of this is, yes, after a certain point, you've committed to going forward, but the truth is, here there's still time to change your mind and go somewhere else. So this is also important when you are, once you've tapped into this movement technique and you start to understand how it works, you can make quicker adjustments on the dance floor. And that's adjustments that are softer also, not so intense. So that's another, just a side note. So notice that here, you also have that little, could you pivot here? Yeah, you could, right? And go back. So here too, you can just shift your weight and go forward, or you can find a pivot and go somewhere else. Again, side note. Notice, so what I want to show is that you have more options available. Here, step, here, and now we reverse. So if you were to take a step back, you'll notice again that I'm not out here. You are in an internal rotation. Your hips, though, are open towards the free side, the open side. How can we say it? Again, this is externally rotated. This is internally rotated. It's just optics. And then you start to go back, and it's the big toe that goes down first. And you don't want to fall in, because that's too much for our feet. And we saw that structure. You want to roll through the rest of your toes. Just going to come a little bit closer. There we go. Because I want you to see the end there. So you're here. Big toe comes down. You roll through. Under. Roll through. Right? Coming a little bit closer. Let's do it again. See where we can find the opportunity for that pivot. It's right here, right? So if you miss this point, can you do the pivot here? Yes, you can. It's just that it's going to take more work. That's the thing. So let me change my orientation. Let's do it again. Here, as you drop the leg, you use this motion. And the fact that something that's big and heavy comes down and can take you around, basically. So two things. This, there is already rotation happening, and the fact that a heavy thing is coming down. A heavy thing is coming down. Let's do a couple more. Just seeing different angles. Here. Go down to back step. Step. And now you don't go in the back step. You go in and pivot. And whether you do it with your feet together or with your feet apart, that is a matter of style. The timing is more important. But I think if we want to be closer, you just pass through. So it's not a matter of sticking your knees or heels or ankles together. It's a matter of this leg passing through, helping you in that pivot. Okay, so let's put some music on. Hello to Phoenix. And do some walks, some ochos. But this is my suggestion. Try to walk away now from the exercise. We're really focused on how the hip axis basically works. Now take a step away and say, you know what? This was all great. I'm going to step away and do my dance. And that's very important, to take in the big picture, step away from the exercise. So you can actually allow for some time and room for your body and your mind to absorb the information. So step away from the exercise and keep it simple, like some walks, pivots, something fun. Let's go. What's this? Let's see. Let's not do that. This.
Everyone knows therapy is great for solving
Advertisement. I need something that is calm. And these would not work. Give me 1 second. 1 second. No, this is... Yes, Milonga would be perfect. Wake us up. Let's see. All right. Fantastic. So I hope you enjoyed it as much as I did. Um, Closing words. Oh, what can I say? It feels good to be back. Stay tuned for the next one. If you're not a member of the Bautanz community, you can join us at bautanz.com. I'm going to put the recording together and some notes, and I'm going to send it to you. Try to, even if you can't do like the whole 1 hour of follow along, it's good that you pick one exercise and you say, you know what, I have 5 minutes today. I'm going to do that. I'm just going to do this for 5 minutes. 5 minutes is more than 0 minutes. So don't think that you have to commit 1 hour. Even if you have 5 minutes in your day, that's more than enough to get you started. So with that, thank you very much. Enjoy your week. Stay tuned. Midweek maximum. Might come in earlier. The recording will be ready. And I hope to hear from you. If you have any questions, thoughts, light bulb moments, I love these. Send me a note either on social media or at chrisa.assis@bautanz.com. Bye-bye.